Hey, beautiful. It's so good to have you here today, wherever you're listening from, in your car, your kitchen, or maybe curled up with a cup of something warm. I just want to start by saying thank you. Thank you for showing up for you, for being the kind of woman who doesn't settle for good enough in her relationship, her love life, or her intimacy. That already tells me a lot about you. And now let's get into something juicy. You know, we spend so much time learning how to attract someone, how to get the relationship, but no one ever really teaches us how to keep things exciting once we've got it, how to keep the energy alive, how to turn a man's interest into intense, ongoing desire, not just emotionally, but physically, viscerally. And let's be honest, sex isn't just about sex, it's about connection. It's about expression, it's about energy. When you create the right environment, the right tension, and the right playful space, he doesn't just enjoy the moment, he becomes obsessed with you. So today we're going to talk about 5 incredibly fun, sexy bedroom games that do just that. These aren't just about turning him on, although they will absolutely do that. They're about turning you on too. It's about making the bedroom a place where you both get to let go, explore, laugh, tease, and reawaken that magnetic pull you felt when everything was new. Because here's the truth. If you can bring a sense of curiosity, mystery, and playful mischief into your intimate moments, you instantly become unforgettable. You become the kind of woman who doesn't just have sex. She creates experiences. So if you're ready to be the woman who drives him wild in the best way possible, let's dive in. The yes, no, maybe game. Now, this game may sound simple on the surface, but it has the power to completely transform not just your physical connection, but the emotional safety and sexual trust between you and your partner. Let me break it down for you. You and your partner each make a list of different bedroom activities, everything from kissing in new places, using toys, trying role play, exploring fantasies, different positions, to softer things like massage, eye contact, or dirty talk. Then you categorize each one into 3 sections. Yes, I'm into this. No, not comfortable with this. And maybe I'm curious but unsure or open with the right energy. Now, here's where the magic happens. When you swap your lists and review each other's answers, you suddenly open up a conversation that most couples are terrified to have. And it's not because you don't want to talk about your desires, it's because so many of us have been made to feel shame about them. We're afraid of being judged, rejected, or misunderstood. But this game removes the fear because it makes everything a collaborative discovery, not a performance. And if you're thinking, Matthew, how does this drive a man wild? Here's how. Because most men are starving for a woman who not only embraces her sensuality, but also knows how to guide it. When you sit down and say, here's what I'm into, here's what I'd love to try, and here's what I'm still figuring out, you instantly become magnetic. You show confidence, curiosity, and communication. The 3 C's that every man finds incredibly sexy. But even deeper than that, you make him feel safe in his own desires too. And when a man feels safe, when he feels seen, and when he knows that you want to explore pleasure with him rather than just go through the motions, you become unforgettable. You don't just awaken his body, you awaken his trust, his imagination, his willingness to give more to you in return. Now, a little tip. When you discover something you both put in the maybe column, that's your gold. That's a moment to lean in, flirt, tease, and build anticipation. You don't have to jump into it right away. Just knowing there's a shared curiosity between you two creates a delicious kind of tension that will follow him all day long. Every time he sees you, he'll be thinking about it, wondering when and how it'll unfold. And the best part? You get to revisit this list over time, because as your relationship grows, your level of comfort and boldness grows too. The maybe of today can become the yes of tomorrow. And that journey together is deeply bonding. It keeps you evolving together, So if you want to drive him wild, not just in one night, but over time, start here. This game makes him feel like you're not just his lover, you're his partner in discovery. And that is the kind of intimacy he will never want to lose. Blindfold and tease now. Let's talk about a game that is so simple, but so incredibly powerful, because it plays on one of the most underestimated elements of great sex: anticipation. When you blindfold him, you're not just taking away his vision, you're taking away his ability to predict. And when a man can't see what's coming next, he has no choice but to become hyper-present. Suddenly, every touch, every sound, every breath you take becomes amplified. That's the power of sensory deprivation. It makes everything else feel intensely alive. Here's what most people don't realize about building sexual tension. It's not always about doing more. Sometimes it's about slowing everything down to the point where a whisper can feel louder than a shout. When he's blindfolded, his mind is racing, but not in a stressful way, in a way that makes him hang on your every move. You become the storyteller, the seductress, the artist, and he becomes fully immersed in your creation. Now, the beauty of this game is that you don't need to be anyone but yourself. You don't need to wear anything fancy. Could be a scarf, a tie, anything you've got nearby. And the intention to create mystery. You can guide his hands, play soft music, whisper in his ear, trace your fingers along his chest, or even use different objects like silk, feathers, or ice cubes. Change the rhythm, the pressure, the temperature. You're not just touching his body, you're messing with his mind in the best way possible. And here's the secret reason this drives men wild. Because for once, they're not in control. And not in a dominating way, but in a deeply freeing way. Most men are taught to lead, to initiate, to make things happen. But when you take that pressure off of him and you create an environment where you are guiding the experience with confidence, it's insanely attractive. He's not just turned on, he's in awe. Ladies, don't underestimate what this signals to a man. It tells him you're confident in your sexuality, that you're playful, that you're not afraid to create a shared experience that is about more than just physical release. It's about emotional connection, erotic surprise, and a memory that lingers. And let's be honest, this kind of moment stays with him. He might not remember what you said last Tuesday, but he will remember the way you leaned in close, the way your breath warmed his skin while he couldn't see you, and the way you took control of the moment without saying a word. So if you want to drive him wild, blindfold him, tease him, and most importantly, let him feel the thrill of surrendering to you. Strip poker with a twist. All right, let's talk about one of the oldest playful games in the book, but with a twist that makes it infinitely sexier, more fun, and perfectly tailored to real connection. And don't worry, no need to be a poker expert here. Because this version isn't about who wins or loses cards, it's about building tension, one piece of clothing at a time. Let me ask you this. When was the last time you both laughed, flirted, and undressed each other without rushing into sex? That slow build, that teasing glance, that playful energy that makes every single movement feel electric. That's what this game is about. It's not just stripping, it's seduction through interaction. Here's how it works. You pick any light-hearted competitive game, strip poker, truth or dare, trivia, even something ridiculous like rock, paper, scissors. The game doesn't matter. What matters is that every time someone loses a round, something comes off. And every item removed is an opportunity to slow down the moment, make eye contact, touch skin, and let the anticipation rise. But here's the twist. You make the rules, and those rules can be as creative and cheeky as you want. Maybe instead of just removing clothes, the loser also has to perform a task, like whispering a secret fantasy, giving a kiss on a specific spot, or making the other person laugh. The goal isn't just undressing, it's engaging, creating a sense of play that leads to something much deeper than just getting naked. And why does this drive him wild? because men crave that element of surprise. They are stimulated by novelty, tension, and the feeling that they're with someone who knows how to keep things fresh and exciting. When you turn undressing into a playful game, you're telling him, I don't just want to have sex, I want to create moments with you. And let me tell you, that distinction is powerful. You're also flipping the script. So often intimacy becomes routine, same setting, same rhythm, same order of operations. But when you gamify the experience, you bring back the feeling of discovery. You become the woman who doesn't just turn him on. You make him want to impress you. You reawaken his competitive side, his playful side, and his deeply masculine desire to earn more of you. And here's a tip. Don't be afraid to lose on purpose every now and then. There's something incredibly sexy about allowing yourself to be vulnerable in front of him, to laugh at yourself, to own your body with confidence as you remove that top or slide off that skirt. Vulnerability in a moment of play, that's irresistible. So next time the mood strikes, skip the usual foreplay. Sit down, pick a game, and raise the stakes. Because the slow burn of undressing layer by layer, glance by glance, is often hotter than rushing to the finish line. And trust me, by the end of it, you won't just be the woman he wants tonight, you'll be the one he's still thinking about tomorrow. The Whisper What You Want challenge. Now, let's shift gears from playful games to one of the sexiest tools you have in your arsenal, your voice. This game is all about verbal desire, but not just blurting out what you want, doing it in a way that creates atmosphere, builds anticipation, and turns your words into a form of foreplay. Here's how it works. You and your partner lie down next to each other, fully clothed, relaxed, with no rush to jump into anything. Set a rule. No touching, just words. One of you starts by whispering something you'd love the other person to do to you, not in a crass or crude way, but in a curated, almost cinematic way. The more detailed, the better. Then you switch back and forth. Each of you takes turns whispering a desire, a fantasy, or even just a moment you've been thinking about. Now, why does this work? Why does this drive a man wild? Because men are incredibly visual. And when you start painting scenes with your words, you take over his imagination. You give him the gift of mental images that feel personal, exciting, and most importantly, connected to you. And when those images are coming directly from the woman he desires, spoken in that low, teasing voice that makes his spine tingle, game over. You've got him. But beyond just the turn-on factor, this game also does something much deeper. It builds emotional safety. Because in a world where we're constantly performing, where we worry about what's too much, too soon, too forward, this space gives you both permission to be honest, to explore, to share what you want without shame or pressure. And here's something else it does that most people overlook. It helps you both articulate your real desires in a fun, low-pressure way. You might discover he loves the sound of your voice in that context, or that he's been fantasizing about something he didn't know how to bring up, or that you get turned on just by expressing what you want without filters or overthinking. And don't be surprised if this game doesn't even need to end, because once the energy builds high enough, once the words have created that tension that you can feel in the air, one of you will break the rule. A hand will reach out, a kiss will happen. And from there, that intimacy you built with your voice spills into the body. The feeling of being desired and adventurous in an entirely new way. When you role play, you create an entirely different space to explore new parts of your sexuality. You tap into your confidence and his vulnerability. And suddenly you're both free to express desires without the weight of real life hanging over you. You don't have to worry about being judged or how you look. All that matters is the character you're embodying and the chemistry between you. It's also incredibly releasing for both of you. Sometimes the pressures of daily life or the weight of routine can make it hard to step outside of your usual dynamic. Roleplay allows you to shed those everyday selves and explore another side of your relationship that feels both fresh and exciting. It reopens the door to curiosity, mystery and new experiences that break the cycle of predictability. And here's the kicker. Role play brings back that feeling of chase. Men love the chase, the unpredictability, the thrill of something new. When you step into the role of a woman who is confident, who exudes mystery, and who makes him feel like he has to win her, desire is sparked in a totally unique way. It feels like the beginning of your connection all over again. And that is the foundation of sexual chemistry. What's more, role play taps into an emotional trigger that men often find irresistible. Being desired for who they are, not for their job or their status or how much money they make, but because you see them in this new, exciting light. And believe me, this will make them want you more, trust you more, and ultimately be obsessed with exploring new things with you. Now, let me say this. Confidence is not about being loud. It's not about being over the top. It's about being intentional. And there's something profoundly powerful about a woman who doesn't scream to be sexy, but whispers exactly what she wants and then smiles while he tries to keep his composure. So try this game. And when you do, know this, you're not just turning him on, you're creating a space where he wants to give all of himself to you, because now you're not just his partner in the bedroom, you're his fantasy, spoken softly into his ear. Let's finish with a classic that never fails to turn up the heat, role play. Now, when most people hear the word role play, they think of some exaggerated costumes or maybe a scene straight out of a movie. And while that can be fun, what I'm talking about today is the kind of role play that feels real, exciting, and intimate. Something that lets you both tap into a fantasy, a dynamic, or a scenario that is so close to home yet feels thrillingly new. Here's how it works. You both pick a role or scenario that excites you. It doesn't have to be anything extreme. Maybe you play the role of the seductive stranger you meet at a bar, someone you don't recognize, but you remember how to make him chase you. Maybe you become the teacher and he's the eager student. Perhaps you're the adventurous partner and he's your daring explorer. Whatever it is, the key here is embracing the story. It's not about perfect lines or elaborate outfits. It's about fully stepping into your role. Now, why does this drive him wild? Because it taps into something every man secretly craves. So next time you're looking to ignite that spark in the bedroom, consider a role play adventure. Be daring, be playful, but most importantly, let go of any inhibitions, because this kind of adventure is not just a game, it's an invitation to truly explore each other. And there you have it, beautiful. 5 playful, exciting, and incredibly intimate ways to turn up the heat in your relationship and drive him wild. Each of these games isn't just about pleasure, they're about creating connection, building trust, and cultivating an atmosphere of excitement and desire that will keep your relationship fresh, thrilling, and filled with energy. Now, let me leave you with this. You are the key to keeping that spark alive. It's not about finding the right game or the perfect scenario. It's about playing with your partner, tapping into your confidence, and being willing to explore, be vulnerable, and keep things fresh. I want you to take these ideas and really make them your own. Make them part of your relationship and watch how much it transforms the way you both experience intimacy. Don't be afraid to be playful, to experiment, and to show up as the woman who knows exactly what she wants, because when you do, not only will he be captivated by you, but you'll also deepen the connection you share. So here's my challenge to you. Pick one of these games, try it tonight or this week, see how it changes the energy in your relationship and, more importantly, how it helps you both grow closer. If you're ready to ignite that spark and create experiences in your relationship that you'll both never forget, take action right now. And remember, you deserve to have the most fulfilling, exciting, and passionate relationship. Now go ahead and make it happen.